Before we begin, a quick disclaimer. For privacy reasons, the names and locations in this story have been changed. However, these are real-life confessions shared by real people. Now, let's dive into today's shocking story.
I thought I was just doing a small favor. A guy asked me to switch seats so he could sit next to his wife. No big deal, right? But the second I moved, I felt it. Something was off, and by the time I realized the truth, it was too late. It was a late-night flight, and I was completely exhausted. 3 days of back-to-back meetings had drained me, and I just wanted to sit back, put on my headphones, and sleep until we landed. I found my seat, 14A, a window seat. Perfect. I had picked it on purpose because I love watching the sky while flying. Just as I was settling in, someone tapped me on the shoulder. I turned and saw a man standing beside me. He looked normal, maybe early 30s. Brown hair, beard, wearing a gray hoodie. He smiled and asked if I could switch seats with him so he could sit next to his wife. I glanced at her. Middle seat, right next to mine. She looked uneasy. Her fingers fidgeted with her wedding ring. And when our eyes met, I swear there was something in her expression. Fear, maybe. I couldn't tell. I hesitated for a second. Something in my gut told me to stay put, but I ignored it. I smiled, nodded, grabbed my bag, and moved a few rows back to a middle seat. That's when I noticed something strange. A flight attendant walking past suddenly stopped. She glanced at my old seat, where the man was now sitting, and then exchanged a quick, nervous look with another crew member. Then, one of them turned and walked straight into the cockpit. Something was wrong. I could feel it. Why were they suddenly interested in that seat? I turned back to look at the wife. She was staring at me again, but now her face was completely drained of color. She looked guilty, like she wanted to say something but couldn't. Then, the pilot's voice came over the intercom, but this wasn't a normal announcement.
To the gentleman in seat 14A, please remain seated. Do not attempt to move.
Seat 14A, my old seat, the one I should have been in. Within seconds, 2 flight attendants and an air marshal appeared near the man. He didn't seem surprised. In fact, he was smiling. And then, as they reached for his carry-on bag, his smile got even wider. The next few moments were chaos. Passengers whispering, crew members rushing to the front. The plane suddenly started descending faster than usual. I knew something was seriously wrong. Then I overheard bits and pieces of what was happening. The man had been flagged as a high-risk suspect. Authorities had been tracking him for weeks. And the worst part? His plan involved my seat. Seat 14A, the seat I had just given up without thinking. To this day, I don't know what would have happened if I had stayed in that seat. Was it just a coincidence? Or had his wife been trying to warn me? I'll never know. But one thing is certain. I'll never switch seats on a flight again.
That's all, guys. What do you think? Was it just luck, or was something more sinister going on? If you were in his situation, would you have switched seats? In the comments below, because I'd love to hear your take on this. If you enjoyed this insane story, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more shocking confessions. And don't forget to turn on notifications, because trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next.